We're teaming up with the Seattle Seawolves rugby team for what may be the most bruising episode ever. Tonight on Evening.
The Bellevue punk rocker starring in the hit medical drama The Pitt. The Camino Island shop that will feed your houseplant addiction. And a new way to get to Spokane with no traffic and no TSA.
Everyone gets a window seat, so everyone gets the view.
Welcome to the show from Starfire Sports Stadium in Tukwila. I'm St. Brian, and this is home of your Seattle Seawolves, a professional rugby union team who are kicking off their 9th season tomorrow and promising more scrums, rucks, and mauls than you can possibly tackle.
This is who we are. This is about us.
It's been called a gentleman's sport played by hooligans. Even at practice, rugby is a sport so action-packed, so bruising, you don't need to know every rule to enjoy the game.
There's so much happening in 80 minutes. Both sides of the ball, you're trying to own the tackle line, you're trying to puncture the defense, and the other side of the ball, you're trying to maintain your line, prevent the opposition from getting to your try line.
I always say it's a mix between NFL and soccer. It's more continuous than NFL, it's free-flowing.
A 12-year professional from South Africa, Andre Werner practices a box kick, which is something like a punt.
I used to sell jerseys actually right outside that fence.
Now Rainier Beach's Tia Vivo wears a jersey as a flanker for the Seawolves.
It's been good, I'm blessed.
As the seasons progress, the players develop a brotherhood.
You stay together, you train together every day, you have meals together. You become brothers, and usually the team that's connected the best usually have a very good season.
Yeah, make sure we get your hands, boys.
The Seawolves expect a winning season. They're already way ahead of the pack when it comes to this flourishing sport.
This game's going to mushroom and explode, particularly when the World Cup comes here in 2031.
All right, the Seawolves home opener is tomorrow, Friday, against Old Glory DC, and you can watch that game on King 5 Plus or on Kong. Okay, he got his start as a child actor in a Fifth Avenue production of The Sound of Music. Now Bellevue's Ned Brower is one of the breakout faces on the Emmy Award-winning series The Pitt. But his journey to success, it's been anything but ordinary.
Welcome to the Pit. Let's go save some lives.
Blink and you might have missed Nurse Jessie Van Horn in the first season of The Pitt. A blur of scrubs and vital signs. But this season, Ned Brower, the Bellevue-raised actor who plays Jessie, steps into a much larger role.
In my mind, he's like the kind of character that kind of gets away with murder. Like, he's not following the rules.
Something else sets Ned apart from every other actor in the Pittsburgh Trauma Bay. Ned is an actual practicing nurse.
They put me season 1 very much in the trauma scenes where there was this really complex medical choreography. So that was kind of like my primary function.
Hey, if you're hungry, there's Permanis in the staff lounge.
Ned pulls double duty. He's also a technical advisor, catching mistakes before they happen.
Incoming.
Like, oh, that gurney's being pushed backwards by the paramedics. That's like a absolute, that never happens. 0% of the time would someone push that gurney head first. It would always be feet first, because I used to be a EMT.
Before there were scrubs, there were drumsticks. Ned joined the band Rooney in 2000.
Something fun to do. And then like 2 years later, we got a big record deal, touring with Weezer and then the Strokes and Lollapalooza. That was it.
Yeah, suddenly you're a teen idol.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. It was a strange trip, but it was very fun, yeah.
The band broke up in 2012. Married with a mortgage, kids, Ned went looking for stability and found it in the medical field.
I know I have this job that I love, that's meaningful, that is stable, but also gives me the time and space to pursue my artistic endeavors.
Endeavors like the Fleetwood Mac tribute band Rumors. That's Ned behind the Mick Fleetwood beard. And now Bloodwork, a band Ned started with Seattle musician John Lowe.
It just feels like being a kid again when I was doing all these same exact things when I was 14, you know.
He works with real patients and on set pays tribute to the medical professionals he calls friends. It may not be the most direct path to a dream coming true, but Ned got there all the same.
What would you tell that 14-year-old about all those dreams that you had about acting and music?
Honestly, I wouldn't change anything.
Episodes of The Pit drop on Thursday nights. Ned tells me he plans to keep his nursing license up to date no matter how successful the show gets. You know, taking a day trip to Camino Island is always a great idea. It's now especially a great idea if you have an addiction to houseplants. Here's Chris.
It's an easy-to-love plant store that's not so easy to find. Start by getting to Camino Island. At the Giant Crab, look to the right for a sign. Then head upstairs.
We're located inside and upstairs of Building A, but once you're in here, it's like a little plant sanctuary. So yes, we're hidden, but definitely worth the climb.
Cactus & Co. is worth discovering. A small but mighty store packed with more than 400 houseplants. All carefully curated by owner Haley Deckel, who has an eye for the unusual.
That is a Hoya Sweetheart. They just grow like that. These are like one of our probably best sellers whenever I have them in. They're just really cute.
The cacti here sport cowboy hats. This is the first time we've ever seen an Easter cactus. They bloom in the spring. And the most expensive plant in the shop, it's only a few inches tall.
Called an Alocasia frydek variegated. Any plants that have like this white coloring on them, they call this variegation, are very sought after. And this little guy it's $150 for this.
Haley also makes her own soil blends and hosts workshops in this small space. And this houseplant whisperer happily shares tips with customers, like why this spice drawer staple is good for plants.
Cinnamon is a natural fungicide, so if you sprinkle it on the topsoil of your plants, it can help to fight fungus gnats and spider mites, and it smells good.
She says these are the most common mistakes people make with indoor plants.
Not getting them enough sunlight, and then I would probably say overwatering, because all the plants have different sorts of needs.
She doesn't talk to her plants.
No, probably not as much as some people would think I would. Maybe just when I'm like angry at them.
But she does play records for them.
Like Taylor Swift, we've got Fleetwood Mac, we've got the Beatles, and we'll just play the music for the plants.
This plant store on Camino Island may be a little out of the way, but its vibe is worth the voyage.
And honestly, I just think that they just like make people feel good. Like people walk in here and they're like happier when they leave.
All right, thank you, Chris. Cactus & Company offers a wide range of classes. You can even bring your office mates over for a team building session. I guess that way we'll find out if houseplants truly do have a healing property.
Up next, how to avoid airport hassles and travel in style to Spokane. We'll show you how. King 5 is the official broadcaster of the Seattle Seawolves.
Welcome back to the show from your home of the Seattle Seawolves rugby team. Seafair Airlines has just launched a flight from Boeing Field to Phelps Field in Spokane, and it's supposed to be twice as fast as I-90. No crowds, no traffic, no TSA. Our local Lens duo took the flight, and they report to us from 30,000 feet.
Today we are at Boeing Field because we have a little mission. We're going to
Spokane! We're excited to show you why you should book with Seaport Airlines. Let's go!
We're a regional airline operating in the Pacific Northwest, and we fly out of Boeing Field in Seattle. We connect to Portland, PDX, and we connect over to Spokane, Phelps Field. You don't have to worry about parking. Parking's free. It's 100 feet away from the front door. People don't believe it when we tell them how easy it is there's no TSA. You can arrive 15 minutes before your flight. Pilot comes out and gets you, and you're on board.
My name is Katie Holm. I am a first officer here at Seaport Air on the PC-12. Smaller aircraft, which is nice. We have 9 seats in the back. That's how many people we can take. There's lots of leg room. You're not squished up to someone that you might not want to be squished up. Everyone gets a window seat, so everyone gets the view.
I've actually just took the flight for the first time today. It's really easy. I think it was maybe 2 minutes that I was at the counter.
Amazing way of bringing back the convenience and speed of the golden age of aviation. If you're gonna go to Rome, if you're gonna go to Tokyo, okay, great, I've got to deal with SeaTac. It's part of the trip. But if you're just going to Spokane or just going to Portland, it feels like a right-sized service that uses a small airport and uses a smaller aircraft to just get these quick flights through, feels like the right size. The experience is about efficiency, about no wasted effort, and about getting to where you need to go quickly. We want our flight to be the least significant part of your day. You just get on the plane and you go.
I guess it's time to fly.
It's gonna be a 58-minute flight, so here we go. It's official. We landed.
What did you think?
I thought it was fun. I mean, the view was spectacular.
I know.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm on first class. Like we're like right here, and then the pilot is right there.
Okay, we just landed in Spokane. What are we gonna do now, Kelly?
We have a lot of fun planned. We're actually gonna go to a popular coffee shop downtown.
Okay, I like that.
We're gonna go to the Davenport Hotel because their lobby bar, I hear, is iconic.
Ooh, bar, I like that.
Okay. I know, you like that. And we gotta go to the Riverfront Park. Let's have the fun begin.
And who's gonna pick us up, Kelly?
Well, we're gonna ride.
Do we need an Uber?
Let's Uber.
All right, thank you, Jose and Kelly. I just called you an Uber. It should be there any moment. To see their Spokane adventures, check out the local Lens Seattle YouTube channel. All right, let's just stay in the air, shall we? You know, most people, when they go to Skagit County to check out the tulips, they do it by foot. But we've decided to check out a tour that gives you a whole new perspective.
Flying for the first time is an unforgettable experience. But for Kate Brigham, it was life-changing.
Once I left the ground, it was just a magical moment that the rest was history.
A pilot for the past 30 years now, Kate is sharing the skies on a unique tour through Bellingham-based San Juan Airlines.
Just please watch your step. Today we'll be going on a scenic tour of the Tulip Festival down in Skagit Valley. San Juan Airlines has been providing these tulip tours for decades. It's just about the entire flight, from beginning to end. It's not just the tulips.
Just so excited.
Tower San Juan 5 will lead. It's an adventure in itself.
You're looking for traffic.
Coming in and flying these airplanes and having that experience.
After just a few minutes in the air,
I can't believe this is right at our back door.
the stars of the tour start to appear.
And as we enter the valley, you can see this lush, green, fertile land that has multiple tulip fields. Most people, when they come to see the tulips, it's usually on foot. But in the air definitely offers a completely different perspective.
So many different colors.
When you're up high, having a bird's eye point of view, you can see these blooms, these massive blooms in mass. As you look down and see all these individual plots of fields, you kind of think about the individual flowers and the flowers as well as the farms, the farmers. You see all the visitors that come by, and you get a sense of this bigger picture of the entire tulip community.
Pretty, pretty.
Each farm, every year, they plant new bulbs, and so they have a new design every year. People can look forward to seeing a different layout, different types of tulips.
This is spectacular. The flowers in full bloom right now.
Tulips are a complete quintessential symbol of newness and renewal and hope.
Though Kate has flown the Tulip Tour many times, she never tires of showing others what's in our own backyard.
It gives me a chance to really show them and share the things that I love, the beauties of this region of the Pacific Northwest.
Right taxiway, echo, contact ground.
Right turn echo, switching ground, San Juan 5.
The San Juan Airlines tulip tours last typically about an hour. As far as those tulips are concerned, they should last for a few more beautiful weeks.
Up next,
these guns were shot in practice, but never at an enemy target.
a fort built for a war that never happened. Now it's one of Washington's best historical destinations. Evening is sponsored by Seaport Airlines.
That may be my favorite play in all of rugby. I love the way they just throw their teammates up in the air to catch a ball. We are at Starfire Sports Stadium in Tukwila, home of your Seattle Seawolves. If you're wondering where Chris Cashman is, well, he is hosting New Day Northwest this week.
Normally you see me right here on King 5, but it's 7:30 on Evening, or Evening Magazine, as so many of you grew up watching it just like me. We're in our 40th season, but for today and tomorrow, I'm going to be right here, a morning person.
He'll be back next week, and next week also marks the start of voting for the 30th annual Best Northwest Escapes. One of your favorite historical getaways happens to be a special spot in Port Townsend.
An abandoned military fort built in 1902 for a war that never happened.
These guns were shot in practice, but never at an enemy target.
Ranger Brian Hageman is the park manager at Fort Worden, one of 3 forts built to defend Puget Sound from enemy ships.
This large cannon would have been mounted here.
By the time World War I and World War II arrived, this technology was obsolete.
We are in the beautiful Fort Worden State Park on top of Artillery Hill, overlooking Battery Ash and Whidbey Island.
There are dozens of military structures here and 12 miles of multi-use trails to explore them.
Fort Worden is considered one of the best preserved Endicott-era forts left in the nation. So there are people that are definitely drawn to that cool history.
These batteries once had cannons that could fire a 600-pound payload 6 miles. The guns are long gone, but pieces of the past remain.
And this is a speaking tube. While the guns were firing, you could yell through the speaking tube and go to a different room.
Creaky doors and empty halls give the place a haunted feeling.
They are a little spooky, yeah, especially when you get down into the inner bellies of these batteries.
Today, fir trees block the gun sights, and you're more likely to spot a resident deer than a soldier. Military history meets Mother Nature as these batteries rust in peace.
I really like that we have recreation, historic preservation kind of blended. So some of the park is always going to be forest and we're never going to touch that. Some of the park we're going to preserve the historic areas. So it's a really nice blend of taking a coastal defense Endicott era 1902 fort and turn it into a state park with a lot of opportunities.
History with $1 million view. Fort Worden also has beaches, campsites, and a lighthouse to explore.
Coming up,
this is a tradition that should be carried on.
Celebrate Easter with these mini works of art.
Now in our 40th season, Evening shares local stories that make our communities shine. Evening is sponsored by Pemco Insurance. Pemco empowers the Northwest to prevent the preventable. Learn how at pemco.com.
Welcome back to the show. Easter is this Sunday, and if you're looking for something a little more special than a typically dyed Easter egg, well, we found them in Linwood. Here's Chris.
Easter comes early for Darla Aiken Tinker.
I cherish Easter.
Each year, the Linwood woman handcrafts panoramic or peekaboo eggs.
Pretty creative person. I've made thousands of eggs.
She fell in love with these sugar sculptures at the age of 8.
I saw that egg and I was mesmerized by that little egg.
From the eggshell molds to the meringue and sugar icing.
That's the glue.
Each one is a work of art, destined for far-flung fans.
And then we package them up and send them out. That's a whole nother story in itself. They're very fragile.
Assisted by her husband Fred and full-time helper Nala, Darla works from dusk till dawn for 3 months straight. She does it for the smiles.
Children come in here and it's like Santa's village to them. And when they tell me, oh, I want to grow up like you, I want to be you, I mean, and that's rewarding in itself. This is a tradition that should be carried on.
Darla sells her eggs on Etsy. They are extremely fragile, but she says she'll replace anything that breaks in the delivery. Well, that is our show from Starfire. Don't forget, you can see the Seawolves playing. You can see the Seawolves playing Friday. That's when they do their home opener. You can watch it on King 5 Plus or on Kong. We'll see you next time.